What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne coming at you with another crazy video. But first, my goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. And you already know, Reclaim Your Throne.
Right here, right now. It's the right time, It's the right time, right now. Tell the whole pipe down. Tell the nigga pipe down.
So guys, I do want to break down this video of Dr. Umar, and he is basically saying that sisters should go overseas and become passport 304s in order to find a man, because like we already understand in this community, the passport kings are way different from the passport queens. Okay, they accuse the men of going overseas and doing sex tourism and all that stuff, and that could be further from the truth. Okay, the men are actually going overseas looking for genuine relationships, contrary to popular belief. Yes, are some men, you know, spreading their wild oats overseas? Yeah, for sure, there are some men who are doing that, but a lot of the men, I would even say the majority of men, are looking for something genuine. All right, but contrary to the men, you have the women who are going overseas, who we've been known what they were doing, going to Mexico and smashing pool boys. Okay, going to Jamaica, the Caribbean islands, to you know, get these mud massages and then get their back blown out by the locals. Okay, going to Europe and you know, embracing the fetishization of, you know, melanated women. So also going to the United Arab Emirates and getting duked on in Dubai, going to Africa and allowing, you know, a Ghanaian prince to urinate on you. This is what the women are doing. None of the men are going overseas and doing any of these demeaning sexual acts that these women have been documented in doing. So they like to shame the passport bros, but like I said, from the beginning of time, women have been getting flued out for prostitutional purposes, not for love. Okay, for prostitutional purposes. Like I've told you guys, any Instagram model, TikTok model, whatever, Twitter, any woman with over 100K followers on Instagram, Twitter, or any social media platform is selling the WAP. Okay, she is using her platform for prostitutional purposes, and the men are not doing that. See, if a guy has 100K followers on any social media platform, he earned it. If a woman has 100K followers on a social media platform, she bent over and spread her butt cheeks. Okay, let's keep it a buck. Let's not, I mean, even the female fitness influencers, all they do is take pictures of their hind parts. All right, so let's not spread any false aspersions on this topic. The women have always been getting flued out in order for prostitutional purposes, and that's just the reality of the situation. So they're trying to paint this and put this thing on men, and they need to take that mirror, flip it around back on themselves. So let's get into this video of Dr. Umar, who I find highly hypocritical in some of his statements. Let's go.
I've heard on numerous times you criticize interracial marriage, right? Specifically for economic purposes. I know there are other issues in regards to mixed race children, but I want to focus on economics. But I think in the future, by default, specifically black women will have to marry out of the race. And I just want to tell you why, right? Based on the numbers, I'm pretty sure, you know, it starts off kind of even, and around 18, it starts to decline, and around 30, it gets out of hand.
So I don't know what this brother's talking about. Statistically, black women have to marry outside of their race. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. That is a pipe dream. It's not likely. Okay, they're saying, oh, statistically, black women have to date outside their race because there's not enough eligible black men. I call cap on that. I really do. Because a lot of these women, there are plenty of black men who are eligible. The problem is They don't like Malcolms. They don't like mildly attractive, lucrative, communicative, operational, likable men. You have to be thug maxed. Like I said in the previous video, go back to my thug maxing video where I explain how to thug max and what thug maxing is. But you have to be thug maxed in order to date some of these women. So it's not so much that, oh, there's not enough eligible black men. No, that's not the case at all. As a matter of fact, I would say there's not enough eligible sisters out there because, you know, straight out of high school, they got 2 babies in tow and they already are, you know, having a nasty attitude, not even specifically towards black men, but towards men in general, by way of the feminazi movement that has swept the states.
And where we're at, say 7 to 10, 6 to 10. But when you factor in unemployed, homosexuals, people who stay at home, we could argue it's probably 4 to 10. So with those type of numbers,
People who stay at home, what does that even mean? A homebody?
Plus incarcerate.
plus incarceration. So with those type of numbers, don't you think it's reality for women eventually to look to other races for men, even if you don't condone it? But
The reality is they don't have the option. Okay, for one, they desire black men, number 1 on the charts, and then the other thing is that, you know, other races are just not checking for them like that. And yeah, you can have these women in the comments saying, oh, whatever. Yes, they are. Look, man, I don't see y'all getting married in droves to men outside of your race. That's just the reality.
But it just seems like a realistic approach because there's just not enough men. And I want to go against the I know you're going to mention polygamy, right? But the only reason with polygamy, due to the income of a lot of black men, I don't know if there'll be enough black men making enough to take care of numerous women, unless you redefine polygamy where the women are taking care of the men. And so weird way, but I want to
So this brother, you know, I'm sure he's doing his best, but he keeps misrepresenting what polygamy is. See, polygamy goes both ways. Polygamy is essentially an open relationship. Polygamy can go, it can be disseminated via the feminine and it can be disseminated via the masculine. What he meant to describe is polygyny, okay? Polygyny, all right, with a Y. And that is where the man actually is in an open relationship and he has multiple wives, but the women are loyal to him sexually, okay? So that's what Dr. Umar advocates. He doesn't advocate polygamy where it can be open on both sides. He advocates polygyny, all right?
Good question. So do black women have to consider dating outside the race since there's not enough men available for them, and the ones who are available want a woman outside of the race?
And that's not even true either. 85% of black men marry within their race. What they're talking about as the black men who are, you know, dating IR are the 30% of college educated black men, okay? And it's only 30%. What about the other 70%? Do they want those guys? No, they don't. Because even on these college campuses at HBCUs or PWIs, whatever you want to call it, the highest achieving black men, these women, they're looking over them, okay? They're looking over the Malcolms. They're looking over the mildly attractive, lucrative, communicative, operational, likable men, okay? They're looking over the medium, ugly, lucrative, communicative, operational, likable men. Even though these women might be mildly attractive and medium ugly themselves, they still think that they deserve a top-notch guy, maybe an athlete or you know, some type of social media socialite on their campus. So they're trying to go for the top percentage when they literally have men who are eligible right in their face that they are denying on a daily basis who they put in the friend zone.
I would still be against it. I would say that the black woman can go north to Canada and get her a black man. She can.
So what Dr. Umar is not understanding, that the black men in Canada are on the same type of time. Western black men in general are on the same type of time that they are in the US. Maybe not as, it's way more exaggerated in the US for sure, and the UK when it comes to thug maxing and whatnot, and when it comes to the like overall demeanor of black men. But I'm gonna tell you right now, like, black men in Canada are not looking for black American women. The main people who are looking for black American women are black American men and they need to figure out how to make it work with the black men in America, because if they don't, then I'm sorry, but you think that they're going to be able to go to Canada? I'm telling you right now, those Canadian men, I mean, if you've ever been to Canada, the women in Canada are way hotter than the women in the United States. That's just the reality of the situation. So, like, if you think that there's competition in the States, then good luck in Canada, because there's a whole bunch of mixed race women, and there are a whole bunch of Haitian women in Canada who, you know, I guess they would be considered French or Creole or whatever. And they are way more competitive than the women in the States, even though they are westernized as well.
You go south to Central America, more than enough black men down there. More.
So, okay, Dr. Umar mentioned Central America and South America. So I'm going to tell you right now, in Central America, those melanated men, for one, they're looking for Spanish-speaking women, okay? For two, they're in Central America for a reason. Why? Because they're looking for a Hispanic woman. So, you know, they keep saying, oh, well, you know, black women can go overseas and have the same results as the passport kings. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because it doesn't work both ways. See, men hold the keys to commitment. So you can tell these women to go overseas and try and find a mate all they want, but at the end of the day, for one, these men are going to be earning a lot less than American men, for one. For two, these men are not trying to commit. Like, you're just a play toy. So if you really want commitment, you need to try and figure out how to make it work with the Malcolms in the United States.
More than enough black men in South America, more than enough black men in the Caribbean. I think.
So he mentioned South America too. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of these sisters in the States are gold diggers. So what is the average wage of a black South American? Okay, a black South American. I would say between $12,000 and $20,000 a year. You think those women are gonna want those guys? See, Dr. Umar, I love Dr. Umar for many things, and I disagree with him on some things, but I don't think he understands how focused these modern westernized sisters are on finances. They're not going to want to be with a guy who makes $15,000 annually. I'm telling you that right now.
She has to broaden her horizons, but I don't think she has to go outside of her race. And
then she's gonna have to compete with the South American women. Good luck with that.
Honestly speaking, I think it would be to her advantage to do so. And the reason I say that is because in America, we have had the economic emasculation of the black man, where women have been put in charge of the leadership of the community.
So economic emasculation of the black man, but we make about $45,000 a year, and white men make about $53,000 a year. So we're only $7,000 off. So although, yes, there have been huge pitfalls in systematic discriminatory actions that have been taken to stifle the progress of black men. But today, in 2023, there's nothing holding you back. And black men are actually doing pretty decently when you put the finances up to a lot of other races. The problem is we have a lot of single mothers raising these young boys, and these young boys are driving our statistics down.
Community, and it has been this way for at least 50 years. We have created a culture where it's okay for black men to not be masculine, to not be leaders. So if the black woman is looking for that traditional black masculinity, she will definitely find that in Africa, where black men weren't subject to.
So what I will say is, yes, though I've heard women saying, oh, you know, going to Africa was a shell shock because the men are super masculine. The problem is these women don't want to be led. And these African men, they don't take anything from women. So for example, if the woman gets an attitude with an African man, she's going to get slapped in the face. And I'm not advocating for domestic violence, but the reason why the women are so feminine in Africa is because those men there's no consequences for getting physical with their women. So, you know, be careful what you wish for, because you want super masculine, you want quote unquote masculine, but then all you're gonna get over there is quote unquote toxic masculinity, from those native Africans.
That white emasculation system.
And they're not going to be making as much as black men in the United States.
She will find him in South America. She will find him in the Caribbean, because these are communities where black men are raised and taught how to live off the land.
Jesus Christ. I really don't think Dr. Umar, you know, I know he's got a kid and a baby mama situation. I don't think he really understands these women, bro. I really don't. I don't know if he's been actively dating. I don't see how he can think that black women are going to settle for a Haitian man who's making 10 cents a day. And I love Haiti. I love my Haitian men, you know, ça passe, whatever. But these women want money, bro. They want money, okay? They want money. Like, I don't see how you're going to convince them to deal with a man who's making, you know, 30 cents a day selling fruits and waters.
How to build a house with your bare hands. How to be a provider for your family.
And I'm going to tell you right now, bro, those men in Africa, they're not building houses with their bare hands. Some are, but they're not building houses with their bare hands. The people who are building houses with their bare hands are in the States, and they're Mexican. Okay? Like, let's stop the BS, bro.
They very much still have that original killer instinct, not killer in terms of killing somebody's life, but that do or die for my family mentality that a lot of us in the States don't have.
And that's BS. Black men still have that mentality.
So I think not only should the black woman look outside of the geographic borders of the United States for a husband, I think it'd be to her liking to do it. I know.
So didn't Dr. Umar crap on the passport kings, the passport bros who were traveling, and now he's telling these women to go overseas and try and find a black man? Good luck. The most economically mobile, upwardly mobile black men are in the United States. I don't care what you gotta say. That's just the reality.
Those sisters who have married African men, some of whom never thought they would look at them. They were not attracted. And they said, when I gave myself a chance, I actually liked him more than the brothers because he was so much willing to be everything I wanted in a man.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I need the receipts, bro, because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing black women in droves marrying men of a lower socioeconomic status. And I'm not trying to talk down on these other men. I'm just talking about the facts, the financial facts, the data.
I'm not downplaying the brothers in the States, because we do have alphas and we do have brothers who still imbue that black masculine spirit. But if we're going to be honest, it's probably lower here than other places because of that emasculation process that we went to, along with all the other issues that the white power structure has introduced into the community. Now, for me, polygyny has to be considered. It doesn't have to be wholesale for everyone, and it doesn't have to last eternally.
Okay, so he is advocating for polygyny. Let me give you the issues about polygyny once he gets into it. Okay, he said it doesn't have to be wholesale for everybody, okay? And yes, I agree with that. You can't have a polygynous relationship if your funds ain't polygyning, okay? And that was a joke. I'm not saying that polygyning is a word. But you can't have a polygynous relationship if you don't got money, if you can't take care of those women, okay? The second thing that he said, it shouldn't be eternal. I reject that wholeheartedly. If you're gonna marry a woman, and that's what polygyny is about, it's not having multiple girlfriends. It's about having multiple wives, okay? Women that you put up, women that you take care of and start a family with. So if you are gonna do that with multiple women, yes, that needs to be eternal. That needs to be forever, because once you leave that woman, you make her a single mother, which is the main issue that we're having in the United States. See, I like Dr. Umar, but he just be saying stuff without really thinking about it. And when it comes to dating, I don't think he really understands the issues that a lot of the younger generations are facing. I would love to have a discussion with him specifically about dating. I don't want to talk about the white power structure and all this other BS that he's going to bring up as an excuse for why we're failing. I want to talk about dating in the States as a brother, as a sister, and the pitfalls that come with that. Now, if you are advocating for polygyny, it needs to be forever. No matter how many wives that you end up taking, you need to take care of them for the rest of your damn life, okay? Otherwise, you are turning them into 304s by sleeping with them, having children with them, and leaving them with a wet behind and a full stomach.
I can see a situation where some men can have more than one woman, and that this plural relationship system that we go to in the Black community will only last as long as it is needed.
As long as it is needed. So is he saying for the 18 years of raising the child? I don't think this is a good idea at all. If you're gonna do polygyny, you need to do it right. It's not as long as it's needed. If you marry a woman, it needs to be for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you're turning her into a broken woman, because every woman is broken after a breakup. So if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna marry her, have kids with her, and when my kids turn 18, I'm gonna leave her, then you are contributing to, you know, the breaking down of that woman's emotional ability, her ability to pair bond, and then you're alpha widowing that woman, which I think is wrong if you're doing intentionally.
Once you have a situation where the brothers are back on their feet and doing what they need to do, stop killing each other, stop being killed, stop going to prison because we have jobs and an economy for them, then maybe you can give it on up. I don't see it as perpetual. I see it as something that should be for the moment.
So he's saying Black men should, what he's basically advocating is for being a stepdaddy. Black men should take on another man's child and take care of that woman and as many women as he can take care of, to make sure that those children are not in the streets killing other Black men.
As we need it, which can be the next 20, 40 years. You follow me? But I don't think it has to be perpetual. But here's the issue. We already have polygyny. Very few.
Yep, we already have polygyny. It is the 80-20 rule. 80% of the women are dealing with 20% of the men. And right now it's probably 90-10.
Men, whether they in Africa, whether they here, whether they Black, white, or yellow, but of course we're talking about ourselves. There's very few men who don't have more than one woman. You follow me?
So he's wrong on that too. He's saying there's very few men that don't have more than one woman. Most men don't have any woman. How about that? What I will say is there's very few elite men in the top 20, 15, 10% who don't have multiple women. See, it's not about, oh, men just have multiple women. No, it's about elite men having multiple women. And even some of the bummy guys who are in the top 10, 20% of physicality, meaning their genetic makeup, have multiple women as well. So, you know, I think that he doesn't really understand the dating dynamics, and he doesn't really understand that modern women have the digital footprint of an adult film actress, and any woman with over 100K followers, which most bad chicks are going to have a lot of followers, even 10, 20K, some people have said in my comments, are using their platform for prostitutional purposes.
Monogamy is a myth. It doesn't exist anyway. The problem is most men are not being honest with their women, letting them know you're not my only one.
So there we go. Something that we can finally agree with. Men, if you are going to be in a polygynous relationship, you got to be honest. So let's keep going.
So it keeps this idea, this Cinderella idea in the Black woman's mind that I can have a man all to myself. Now, in theory, that's good.
So let me talk about Dr. Umar and his polygynous theory. Think about how many women he's ruining by dealing with multiple, because women get in their feelings, and he's breaking a lot of these women's hearts by, for one, even if he's honest, once you have intercourse with that woman, she is attached to you. And now, once you stop dealing with her, you're going to break her heart. So even though he's saying that he's honest, it still is ruining the woman for the next man to come. And now she's got a broken heart, and a man has to mend that on the back end, which I think is unfair.
But you have to look at your circumstances. I'm not saying a woman should want to share her man. I would never want to share my wife. But when you look at the community and what is in the best interest of Black people, when you look at all these children without fathers, when you look at these women who are on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder with 7 or 8 kids that they can barely raise, how do you not consider putting an able-bodied married man in that house?
Well, what they do is they just put the government in the house through welfare programs and EBT.
To stabilize that system and provide nurture for those children. If we care about the future of black children, if we truly care about the future of black children, how do we not address the fact that 70% of them are being raised by single mothers?
So what's actually happening is these women are choosing to be single mothers, and they are essentially getting entitlement benefits from the government, and now daddy government has become the father in that household. So I don't know why my nose is itching like crazy, but anyways, you already know what it is, man. It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Send your relationship questions to the email down below with a screenshot of your CashApp so I know you're paying your tithes, man. Y'all need to be on your motherfucking name with the BS. You already know. Reclaim your throne.
Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.